Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gatto, and welcome to RaceVerse coverage. A little IndyCar matinee racing here on Friday afternoon, early Friday evening, late Friday afternoon for round 2 of season 2 of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar DW12 ICONIC Series as we come to you from, and we're going to be here a lot in the next, between now and the 16th of April. We got 5 races here that we'll be covering. Or I'll be calling in one form or another, but this is going to be the first one. It's the VOR DW12 Series here at Gateway. Joining me in the booth, he's out there in the ghost car at the moment, taking some laps in, is oval expert Kyle Klindworth. Clindy, what do you think of the setup? What do you think of the track? I think it's going to be fast because the weather, track temperature is pretty low out there. 69 degree track temp, 66 ambient. Seeing a lot of people having trouble trying to get off pit road even coming up to speed. I think it's kind of slippery out there, at least on the apron.
This qualifying setup really wants to rotate. I'm having trouble getting around the track even. I don't know if you have me on screen or not. I'm just
No. You are the ghost car out there.
Yeah, it hyper rotates on pit road and through turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I've spun out twice, so I'd expect to see some carnage in qualifying. Actually, when the tires get up to temperature, it's not so bad.
Probably, yeah, that's to be expected. So you probably have to hustle that car pretty hard on that first lap, and it's still going to be a little loose to bring those tires up to temp here.
Honestly, I would just drag the brake the whole first lap and throw it away.
Yeah, that's a strategy as well. Let's as we're getting into this here. Rule set for tonight, or for today, here with 2 minutes 18 seconds left to play. 4 sets of tires, 1 in the car, 3 in the pits. Fuel is at 85%, which is approximately 15.7 gallons. Green, white, checkered? No, because this is an IndyCar, and we don't do that stuff around here. But the IndyCar wave around rule is being enforced. Pitting, drivers are required to announce when they're entering and exiting pit roads. And if other cars are in proximity, they do have to enter the pit road on the backstretch here at Gateway. Drivers are permitted to drive through no more than 3 pit stalls when entering or exiting their own box. Otherwise, could get a penalty. Track is 1.25 miles in length. We will be doing 140 laps, or about 175 miles, or 90 minutes, whatever comes first. Seeing a lot of wrecking here still, so we might get some yellows. But all the track records you need to know here from Gateway and IndyCar. The kart track records held by Raul Boesel. There's a name we don't talk about very often. He set it in 1997 with a speed of 187.963 when this track was brand spanking new. Well, the IndyCar and IRL track record set when the track really wasn't brand spanking new, but that was a well worn-in surface, and Will Power with the power of the IR18 there, and one of his many career leading and all-time leading pole wins here. Track record in 2020 with a speed of 192.384. The career wins leaders here at Gateway, there's no one close. The career wins leader here at Gateway is Joseph Newgarden with 4, including 3 in a row from 2020 to 2022. Scott Dixon has 2, and he's also your defending winner at Gateway going into their 2024 NTT IndyCar season race here later this year. But the names of former winners here reads like a who's who of IndyCar history, such as Tracy Zanardi, Andretti, Montoya, Unser Jr., DeFerrin, Castroneves, Power, and Sato. They all have at least 1 win here, in addition to what we talked about with Newgarden and Dixon. And with that said, we got about 20 seconds left here in qualifying. Still a rough go, but right now on the pole provisionally, Tucker with a 181.7.
Yeah, he put together a pretty solid lap. And yeah, a lot of carnage in qualifying, that is for sure.
All right, and we are getting ready to grid up here.
I would have been tempted. Are they allowed to qualify on the race setup? Because
no, at fixed races, they'll have a different setup for that there. And Josh Tucker loading in here, and we will clear off the screen, and we will get you tonight's the matinee, actually.
This afternoon.
Yes, starting grid here. nice, decent sized card field. Tucker with your pole with a 24-7. Patrick Salvazzi, P2. Craig Forsyth. Expect good things from Craig in third. Edson Santos, P4. Expect good things from him in fourth there. Joshua Fortune, fifth. Cody Meadows, new to the series, in sixth. Fodor Dorshenko in seventh. Jonas Weber in eighth. Dan Inch in ninth. Seb Kinder in 10th. Alexander Bonney in 11th. Alec Vandenbos in 12th. John Christensen, 14th. Layson Furness at 14th. Julian Altena taking no time, lining up 15th. Hugo Gallas also lining up with no time in 16th. And Bill Colley lining up 17th with no time in 17th there. And, well, Hunter Bogdan might also load in as well. We also show him with no time for possibly the 18th car.
Yeah, Bogdan's on the grid. Starting shotgun, he'll be the worst to first challenger today. See if he can replicate what Julian Altena did last week at Michigan.
Yeah, Julian's a bit on a roll in these older cars here in the VOR series and the IR05 and the DW12s. He's pretty much shown unbeatable in the last couple of weeks. We'll see if that holds true once more as we are getting ready to go racing here momentarily. Really a long pause there on pit road, and now we're finally moving. Outside row is not going yet. There they are. And let's bring up the weather report for you. 68 degrees track temperature, 66.1 ambient. Let's get you to driver's points really quickly before we get going. Julian Altena is your leader after one race. Liam O'Sullivan not in today's lineup, P2. Edson Santos, P3. Edson looking to move up to P2 in the standings after, hopefully after today's race. John Christensen as well. He's P4. And there we see Fortson, Bybel, Inch, Weber, Kinder, Gallas, Fortune, Savazzi, Bogdan, Strauss, and Bonney. That is your top 15 in the points. Here at Gateway, one of them, I know just about everyone I talk to does not really like this track, and I'm right there with them. But I have
They're all wrong, Gary. This track is awesome.
I have two of my career wins here, and I can't tell you how I got them or why. Well, I know how I got one. Well, I finished first. I know how I got one, but yeah, I do not like this place very well. But here are 18 drivers that are going to take a liking to it here really quick for 140 laps. Green flag in the air. Friday afternoon racing here at Gateway underway here on RaceVerse.
Clean start for Tucker. A little bit.
Oh, Tucker getting losing one. Oh, and taking out multiple cars. Oh, gosh. Julian went through there with ARCA brakes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Let's watch what happened again.
5, 6 cars. I think Altena got lucky. I think his left front fixed from netcode damage.
And just as it turned in, you were talking about a loose setup. Just as he turns in, the back end starts to come around. And Salvazzi tries to avoid. He gets nipped. Forsyth makes it through. Dolshenko in. Seb Kinder getting destroyed. Furness back there. One of the other team Altena Autosport cars. Somehow Christensen makes it through. Just wow. And we could probably watch that again just at regular speed. This is a replay of all this.
For my count, Fortune has irreparable damage. And Ench got damage.
And let's
Salvazzi is probably done.
Yeah, let's run with Julian here. We're watching him on the formation lap. This is a replay of the formation lap.
You're in for a treat here. He dodges about 2 cars, and then the game thinks he hits another.
gone back a little time. The formation looks good. Everyone's trying to warm those tires, although I really don't know how well in the sim those tires come up to speed when you kind of move back and forth. I think a lot of that's just nervous energy. Here we go. And the way that he got loose and won kind of really reminds me of a lot of truck series races on super speedways that aren't draft tracks. Trucks tend to be loose on the first couple laps. And there we're seeing multiple cars getting loose. Not just... Oh! Wow. So Craig Forsyth is now your leader as he survived the turn 1 incident. And a number of cars on pit road, a number of cars coming back to pit road. Hugo Gallas going to top off. Leighton Furness, he is on pit road. They are going to get some extended service here. Hunter Bogdan just moving off of pit road.
Bogdan did not have damage. He missed the accident, but by my count, there are 6 cars now immobilized on pit road.
Yeah, so we see Van Bosch is not going. Neither is Kinder. Josh Tucker, of course, was a starter of that. Dan Inch, also not. Fortune's already out. So Vazi, he is now moving and underway. He's 1 lap down, but he might have himself a remainder of the car, remainder of the race damage. Furness, as my voice breaks there momentarily, he stays on the lead lap, which is good for him. He now moves up to 11th. But we are still under caution. We've got 1 more lap at least. Your leader is Craig Forsyth. Edson Santos now P2. Cody Meadows worked his way up 3 spots to P4. Alexander Bonney up 7 spots to Meadows to 3. Bonney to 4. Christensen in 5th is up 8 spots. And Julian from the back to the mid-pack now at P6.
Yeah, very fortunate there for Altena. He was probably a couple of centimeters away from ending his day in corner 1, or corner 2, I guess.
Lights are out on the pace car. Help us keep all this positive momentum with IndyCar. We're turning back to iRacing. If you enjoy RaceVerse coverage of the VOR IndyCar DW12 Iconic Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future RaceVerse iRacing broadcasts. Getting ready to go back to green. We'll bring up the header here. 5 of 140. Going green at lap 6.
Come on, Craig. Keep it clean. You can bring it through 1 and 2. I believe in you.
And we are green flag. Craig takes off, big lead. Edson Santos right there. He won't let that lead last very long. Santos, cars tiptoeing through 1. Oh,
trouble.
That's Hunter Bogdan. Let's see. We'll play it at speed here. Here is Hunter. Oh, as we say many times, apron bad.
And here it's even worse because there's a rumble strip there.
And we'll watch again on this one real quick. Well, yeah, since we have a little extra time, the start of this race been a little rough. I think conditions are kind of catching people off a little bit. But incident now with Hunter Bogdan in turn 1. Almost
he oversteers before he even gets to the apron.
Yeah, almost ends up with Leighton Furness there in his rear engine compartment. They're coming to green flag. But let's check this out from his point of view. As we are green, there's the green flag from the flagman. That is not sure who is doing inside. That might be Colley to his inside. Colley taking a very safe approach. Hunter turns in. very sharp and steep entry. Doesn't kind of arc it in, gets to rumble strips, over rotates, and bam. And good thing this is virtual sim racing, because if that was real racing, well, I'm assuming that the toe box on these things would hold up, but that would have been potentially damaging to the driver's feet if that was real racing there. So again, we're just in the virtual world. Going back to live footage now.
They've shortened this caution, so they're going to go green this time around.
All right.
We had one penalty. It seems like Furness is under penalty for passing under yellow for his pit stop.
Okay. Yeah, you got to be really careful here, especially when you get down on that other pit road. You can't pass until you really get to pit entrance, that you can pass the car down below you, or if you're on pit road, proceed to try to pass the car above you. Craig's not wasting any time. He is on it. We are back green at lap 9. There we go. Let's try to get some good camera shots.
Clean and green through 1 and 2 for the first time this afternoon. Great job, fellas.
Julian getting a good run on Bonnie Ellicott on the outside, coming down the main straight. Christensen going to try to follow him through.
The outside is where you want to be going into 1 and 2. Like, it's so tempting to dive in deep.
Oh, Bonnie cut. Yeah, Bonnie cut off Christensen there. Here comes Doshenko. He did get some damage in that incident, but looks like he's repaired, back underway.
Doshenko looking to the inside here. So this is where you get tempted to stick it in really, really deep.
Yeah, and then the outside just kind of takes off on you.
Palmer heads prevail here early in the race.
Greg Forsyth bringing it around for yet another lap of the lead.
Dan Ench has gone off on the backstretch, and he has towed to the pit lane.
Rough start for Dano there. Cody Meadows looking to the inside of Edson Santos. Edson there with a 4.9K I rating, 4.99 safety rating, against Cody Meadows with a 2.0K I rating, 2.54 safety rating. Julian has moved up into this battle now. Up 11 spots, Julian wasting no time. So we think about 37 laps will be kind of what the stint lengths are, somewhere in that neighborhood. Keep in mind we've had for the first 14 laps of this race, most everything's been under caution, so that will probably extend that first stint. But the key thing you need to remember now, everybody, is when new tires get slapped on these cars, how wicked they are to drive.
Yeah, I do not want to be the first car to pit. If you were the first car to pit, you will either spin on the access road, because these tires are very, very slick when they're cold, or someone else will do it shortly after you. You travel down. Craig Forsyth gets turned by lap traffic!
And that is Hugo Gallas. And Gallas didn't touch him, but Gallas is right in the middle of the road, and unfortunately he just toes out. Let's check that out, though.
Gallas touched the apron, slid up the track, and then Craig had nowhere to go. Oh my goodness, that gives the lead to Edson Santos.
So we see right down. Yeah, he gets down there and kind of comes up the track a little bit. Craig's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go around the outside," and he actually makes it. Just for whatever reason, again, this kind of a sketchy setup. The car comes around.
Gary, is this not reminding you of Gateway Season 2?
And from his car, he has joined the channel. We're under caution here. We have our in-car reporter, Julian Altena, out there. Julian, this kind of does remind me of VOR Season 2 in the IR18 series. What's going on out there?
Lack of talent, to be brutally honest with you.
Well,
The setup really isn't that difficult. I think what happened to Hugo is he was off the pace from damage, and then he didn't go to the right lane. He didn't hold his line, basically, and then Craig had nowhere to go. And what happened on the first lap, I think, was more or less the same, with the slower car on the bottom and then going back up again, from what I saw anyway. So, yeah, people just need to be patient and understand it's a long race. It's even longer than it was scheduled to be because I set up the session wrong. So,
yeah, that's what I thought. I originally thought it was 120, and I was doing my notes, and I was like, 140? Okay, we're going longer, folks.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just what people need to remember. It's a learner series, but it looks like even some of the veterans need that learning experience.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
hold on.
for sure.
Let me shorten the yellow here really quickly. I'll leave you guys to it.
All right.
All right, going green this time. See ya.
All right, green this time by Julian doing some co-driving and admin duties, as well as coming up into the booth to do a real quick interview. And we'll give you a history lesson of VOR Season 2 here in a little bit.
Yeah, while I appreciate Julian's candor about the talent in the field, the setup itself is unforgiving. On cold tires, you need to be very, very careful, from my experience in my warm-up laps. So, a little less talent, really cold tires, spells disaster.
Yeah, we're riding with Edson Santos, kind of tiptoes through one. And Cody Meadows right there with him. Cody's going to take a look at the inside. Going to send it on in there to the inside. Gets to the bottom. Not able to pull that pass off. He did kind of clip the rumble strips a little bit. Had to check up, and that gives the a shot to Julian. Taking a look to the inside. Meadows going to stay right tucked under Edson Santos there, getting the benefit of the draft. Julian hitting that third lane up top there to try to get a little extra air on the front wing. Now Julian stalking Cody Meadows going into 3. Julian way up high in turns 3 and 4. You could do that here. Another track that Julian does pretty well at, that you can do that up in 3 and 4. Well, it's now, I think, 1 and 2 is Phoenix. Julian to the inside now of Meadows. Going into 3 and 4, and there we go. Pass is complete.
We have a mirror of that battle right behind with Boney and Christensen. And then they've got 2 in the wings, Deschenko and
here comes Deschenko, 3 wide. Careful, boys.
Throw it in there. Oh. Real loser there was Silvazzi because he had no clean air through 1 and 2 and went from being a 4 cars into a blanket to 2 cars by themselves.
I think this might be one of those races that it's still a long way to go, but if you survive, I think you might be rewarded pretty well. And I think we're seeing a lot of drivers kind of doing that at the moment. Bill Colley there he is. Good get on Bill Colley there. He is back in 9th now and really has no one to race. He's just kind of keeping everything in front of him. I think he's anticipating more action to take place, and as long as he can keep his car safe, he'll continue to move up the standings. But we started with 18, and we are down to 9 now. Very quickly.
Quick note, Furness did not serve his penalty and was disqualified.
Oh. All right, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, he had petitioned the stewards for it to be waived and was denied, and so...
Well, typically in VOR races, black flags are rarely removed by admins. I think it's somewhere in the rules it even says that. I've only seen it in a handful of races where like a large number of the field gets kind of that rogue black flag when especially when an accident happens right at the start and not everyone crosses the start-finish line. I've seen that get a lot of black flags get reversed in that in previous VOR history. But even Julian, who is the admin of VOR, he's been bit by that penalty too, and he won't even change it for himself. So that is, if you get penalties, black flags, you're going to have to serve them here in VOR. They will not be removed unless it's a glitch that everybody gets.
And while we were busting out the rule book, Julian was busting into top gear. He went around Edson Santos in 1 and 2 on the high side and has now stepped out to a comfortable lead.
Yeah, Julian in the lead by 7. Meadows by 6 up to Santos. 2.5 from Bonnie up to Meadows. Doshinko right there. He's, for a car that was involved in an incident, it is pretty speedy right now. Take a look at his, how his lineup of his alignment is right now.
These three are definitely the best battle on the racetrack right now.
And then chat, ouch. Yeah.
You say that about 9 more times. Now, I'm really surprised that no one decided to top off on fuel under the most recent caution that...
Bill Colley did at lap 17.
I think that may play into his hand. While he's got everything in front of him, he can go out longer and watch the carnage unfold on cold tires. Silvazzi looks like he tapped off on lap 3, probably fixing that damage.
Yeah, he did too. Bonnie got some new sponsorship on the side. That sponsorship is one of our, now the series sponsor. And that is IFS Personal Financial Planning. So what they do is IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them to navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of the markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. Have more questions, hit up Alexander Bonnie about IFS Personal Financial Planning. Don't have a website or any social media links yet, but we'll add those as we get them to the broadcast in the future. But you can always join the VOR Discord server, which I believe that link is in the description, and hit up Alexander, and he'll be happy to answer your questions. And he is in a battle right now for 4th, 5th, and 6th. So we're now looking at the first of the stops to occur here sometime in the next, I would say, 10 laps or so.
Yeah, you might be closer to 15 just due to the sheer number of caution laps.
Yeah, we'll see that. We figured 37 is when the window actually opens. This might actually now be a 3-stopper straight up. It was a little bit more than it was like 3 3/4 stopper when we were kind of crunching numbers before the race.
Yeah, as long as you don't roll over to the next biggest number when you do the division on the fuel mileage, you don't need to stop. Using 3/4 of a tank is good enough, as long as you don't have to use a whole one.
We got Craig in chat. That was ridiculous. Yeah, it happens, Craig. We hear ya. Craig's been a victim of some lap traffic as leader in the past here in this series. I do know Hugo as a good driver, though. We normally see him every week in the ISRA Truck Series, where he's one of the actual points leaders there, and I think he's in the top 10 of their points. He just kind of consistently brings that truck home every week there in that series. Not great finishes, but finishes nevertheless that pay off with points at the end of the season, and they'll be rewarded pretty well with a decent points-paying finish. Normally, he's not subjectable to some of the mistakes like that, but it happens to the best of us. Believe me, I've made some boneheaded mistakes. And I mean, when I say boneheaded, I mean boneheaded mistakes. So I really can't fault too many people here, especially after that the first couple of wrecks and some ill-handling cars. I made some mistakes too, so I can't really get on people too hard.
I mean, we all have, right? And if you watched the Auto Club top splits last week and for Indy Open a couple weeks ago, or fixed this week, you saw me make mistakes coming to the white flag and on the white flag. So, everybody makes mistakes, even people who make top split and have pretty good I ratings. So.
Yeah, it's how you use those mistakes to learn. And if you we're watching Jonas Weber and Salvazzi racing back here further in the pack. It's how you learn, and it's how you take those mistakes and learn going forward. Weber and Salvazzi. This is for 7th. Christensen has got past this group, kind of moved on a little bit.
I think we're going to have a battle shaping up for 3rd here, not too long from now. Dosheko has been faster than Meadows by 0.3 or more the last few laps.
There we see Doshenko down in the bottom graphic there. Last lap, 175.8. Meadows, 174.4. So Doshenko considerably faster and is tracking this down pretty quickly.
Oh, we've got caution.
Caution. Bill Colley. Salvazzi. I want to say, hopefully not Bill Colley. He had everything in front of him. But Salvazzi, we'll take a look here.
Oh, no. Looks like Tucker was back out on track.
Now, Jonas Weber has a
has
a similar painted car. They're teammates, I believe. So Salvazzi,
it's Jonas Weber.
Yes. So Salvazzi to the inside, going into 3 and 4. Bonnie's there. Oh, and Bonnie, he hits the apron. Yeah, okay. All right. So we'll take you back here, and we'll show you from the roll bar point of view what happened. So there's Bonnie right there in front of him. Shallow entry for Patrick, has nowhere to go but the bottom because he's going side by side, clips the apron, but he also got the dirty air of Bonnie in front of him. Bonnie did nothing wrong. Bonnie's just driving his line, and then he kind of pushes up. Salvazzi kind of gets the dirty air and pushes up into Weber, and that might put the nail into Patrick Salvazzi's day. After starting on the front row and being involved in that first incident, involved now here in another incident at lap 42, 43 here. And I would suspect everyone now will hit pit road. Yep. I think just the way everyone came on the pit road is how they came off.
Yeah, no shakeups. Meadows very close to overtaking Edson Santos, but did not execute on pit road just quickly enough to move up a spot. Even under yellow, you see guys on cold tires being very ginger on the access road.
Exactly, for sure. And it's going to be interesting watching this restart. But if you're just joining us...
He's off on the back.
Uh-oh.
Under caution. It's that tricky. He was going 50 miles an hour and he spun.
Yeah, there it is. I think we're getting ready to go racing. Yeah, we're green flag. As Julian forwarded the session. He wants to go racing. Everyone else wants to go racing. See, it gets through 2. Oh, Cody Meadows. Oh, all over the place.
That's everyone.
No, Edson Santos.
So Alexander Bonnie is still alive.
Santos is still in this.
Cody Meadows
Weber is done. Meadows might be good to go. He might have a front wing that needs replaced. Bill Colley is going to be good to go still. He was kind of recovering as all that was happening. Doshenko is done. Christensen is done. And
lack of talent, Julian, huh? Lack of talent.
No.
Oh
I,
man, that was gonna bite me. I mean, I was telling to my guys, I barely turned in as one. It just went.
I didn't want to dunk on you too hard earlier, but I said I did some test laps in this, and I think it might not be like a talent. It might be the setup.
Well, let's watch here. Julian going through 1 and 2, going to the bottom, and it just comes right. He catches it, and then it got loose again, and then right up into the wall. And yeah, this totally has the straight up vibes without the pack racing, but straight up vibes from VOR Season 2.
It's the track. It's not the setup. It's not the drivers. It's the track. IndyCar should not go here.
Well, so I think what we're going to boil this down to is Santos is your leader. We still have 94 laps to go. Bonnie is P2, Meadows is P3, and I think he'll still need to pit, probably get that front wing looked at. And Collie following the Godso strat to the T from where we see Danich on the backstretch, car having trouble turning, but Bill Collie following the Godso strat to the T that led me to the victory here in VOR Season 2. To the T, starting from the back, keeping everything in front, and waiting for everyone to make the mistakes in front of him and just make up all those positions. To the T. Can Bill Collie get the win? That's the key question. As we're now down to I think 4 cars. Weber is back underway. Let's take a look at his in-car, see how he tracks. He seems pretty straight. How Weber is not off the lead lap, that is pretty remarkable. He is on the lead lap still. Car does not like it. Looks like it wants to stay in a straight line unless he's trying to scrub in those tires.
I've never seen a right front tire suspension be repaired that quickly as Jonas Weber's crew did. Give a shout to them.
Dan Inch is back in knowing that all he needs to do is just make up some laps here, and he just makes up some spots. Like, Dan Inch can work his way into a top 10 finish just by rolling right now.
Yeah,
that's all.
His wheel is 90 degrees to the right to go straight.
Oh my God. We're riding, and there it is. That's Dan Inch trying to keep the wheel or keep the car straight. That might be a little too much.
Dan is just running under caution, is what he told me.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm about to say, if he's just going to run under caution.
He's also saying, don't get too close to me.
Look at him. The wheel is straight as he makes the turn effortlessly through turns 3 and 4. That's how bad he's out of alignment right there.
Tell you what, Gary, if Bill Collie does win this race, I'm buying a number 31 blue and green Sprite Armor All t-shirt. Says Bill Collie the second on it, and I'm going to wear it every Friday for every broadcast.
So I don't know what livery you have him in. I just have him in a plain blue livery.
Well, I was debating pre-race whether to wear my glasses for this race or not, and I decided not to. Maybe I should have, so I could have seen this coming. Because I can't see a mile away without them.
Well, this track is 1.25 miles, Julian, so you got a little more there. You probably should have put the glasses on.
Exactly. I'll keep that in mind for tomorrow when we run it twice. But yeah, I'm done, so...
And we're just riding with Dan Inch here as I think he's going to take it to pit road right now. Yeah, as he really has, get some more caution here, 3 more laps, and he will pass Leighton Furness. Another 5 more laps, he'll pass Hugo Gallas. Another 8 more laps will pass Craig Forsyth, and he'll have a top 10 finish. But we're getting ready to go green. Edson Santos.
Don't crash in turn 1.
Yeah, so kind of everyone tiptoeing through 1. Santos through, Bonnie through, Meadows through, Collie through, Jonas Weber through. So that's good. Meadows to the inside of Bonnie. And it did look like that Meadows got a new front wing. So what is, when the car is acting that wicked, Clindy, what is the best way? I mean, is it to go as high as you can in the corners just to minimize turning that wheel as much as possible?
So there are kind of three different schools of thought, in my opinion. The first is to go as slow as possible. Bill Cawley has done that today. The second is to warm the tires as much as you can and take as much wheel out of the car. So to your point, do that high arc and try not to turn the wheel very much at all. And then the third option is to send it and hope it sticks. Most of the field today chose option number 3, and it was a poor choice. Yeah, it takes about 2 laps. 2 laps under full load for these tires to get to a point where you can actually drive them like you'd like to, and not have to go very, very slowly or very, very gingerly through the corner.
I think everyone's kind of getting into a rhythm here, hopefully, as Santos has a 4/10 lead over Meadows, and then we're about 8/10 back to Bonnie.
Podium position for the new sponsor, if he can hold on.
Yeah, good debut for the title sponsor here. So let's go in the Wayback Machine, back to VOR Season 2. So we were on the old track and tire model still at the time. And I don't know if you were involved with iRacing much then, Clindy, but the races here were pack races. And everyone was on top of one another. I remember, first of all, the race was on Halloween. That was the first thing. There might even been a full moon out, at least in my portion of the woods. Yeah. But let's see. I qualified not bad. I think it may be 5th or 6th. I can't really remember. It wasn't the worst, but I was not up front. I think I started alongside Matt Houston, and as we're just racing, you're just kind of moving up. And we had an incident pretty early on. It took out a bunch of guys in the rear, mainly though in the rear. Then another incident took out a bunch up front. Then all of a sudden, I'm up with the leaders. Then we have another incident where there was a driver in the league that kind of drove in over his head a little bit, and I just let him pass me. And then 3 laps later, he wrecks and causes a big one in front of me. And I somehow netcode through Julian, but I think I picked up some damage there. So I was able to get my front wing replaced. And then after that, I think we were down to like 5 or 6 cars like we are now. And I was the only car at roughly 100%. I think everyone else was sporting damage. And I mean, I tried to give that race away. I had to make a late race pit stop, and I spun coming to pit road, and that caused the last yellow, and that's how I won the race under my own yellow. So
wow.
Yeah, but I tried everything I could have to throw that race away, and it would not allow me to throw it away. Bonnie getting up to Meadows here.
He's kind of in the danger zone. You get to.
Oh, Bonnie!
Oh no! I jinxed him.
And he punched out before we were able to go yellow. And now we're down to 4.
I'm buying a Bill Cawley t-shirt. It's going to happen. But yeah, like I was saying, Alexander got right to, 1/10, 2/10 behind Meadows, to the point where you suffer the aero push. You have to put more wheel into the car to get it to rotate at the speed you'd like to carry to attempt an overtake through turns 1 and 2. And if you throttle up, you're going to push into the wall. And if you understeer, you're going to want to steer more. And when you get the clean air, the car will snap loose. And he just hit the wall and then ricocheted down into the back straight grass and flipped over. End of day.
And I think we got Collie tracking down Meadows here. And I think Meadows. I think actually, I'm looking at one of his ad blockers on one of the side of his car. It's that front forward wing on the side pod, and I think he's kind of struggling. And I think Collie's going to track him down. Yeah, look at that! Look at that! Collie's there.
To the inside.
And Cody might just want to let him go.
The inside is not preferred.
Oh, listen to him. Listen to him. Just feather foot that, man. Feather foot. Woof. Okay, Weber is out. So now we're down to 3.
So I know we said it's 140 laps or 90 minutes. Can we also go by last man standing rules?
You have to talk to the league admin.
we might have to do that anyway. At this rate, there will only be one. So.
So I went back to watch what happened to Weber, and he just suffered chronic understeer going through 1 and 2, smashed the safer barrier with the right front, meatballed, and off the track. Alt F4.
If I can bring something funny up for a second as well, guys.
Go ahead.
Josh Tucker and I always joke about killing each other in turn 1. And Josh started from pole in season 9 Pocono. And that's what was brought up under the pace lap before we went green here. And you know what happened in turn 1 on this race? Exactly the same in a similar corner, just a little bit smaller radius.
Oh, Cody Meadows does the same thing Alexander does not but 5 laps ago, and he no longer has a front nose or a left front.
And that's done. Day done. So now we're down to Santos and Collie.
Well, Layson Furness is also back on track. I thought he was DQ'd earlier for ignoring a black flag, but he is clicking them off, and he may finish P3, even though he's 51 laps down right now, because his car is clean.
Yeah. And that was due to last week. He also got a black for that, and that was due to miscommunication with me and the other admins in the session. So, what that was for, the clearing of is usually if it is deemed to be an unfair black flag, we will clear them. But both of those races, we didn't hear Jason at all.
Oh, okay.
So I cleared it for that reason, and of course it will be investigated after the race if it was fair to clear it or not, and if it's not, then he will be.
I know we had the rule in the past that black flags wouldn't be removed. I was wondering if that was one of the rules, because I know that was in the rule book before. But we also talked about where if you have a glitchy black flag, where like the situation like when coming to the green flag, half the field crosses the start-finish line, the other half doesn't, and there's a wreck that causes a yellow and freezes the field, and then that typically causes a glitch. And I think we've had that before in the past, where you had to remove a whole bunch of black flags. But in terms of like what happened to him, supposedly he passed a car or passed a car on pit road. Normally those aren't removed, but I guess if he can prove it was glitchy, then yeah.
Hey Gary, I've got to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back.
So we got Clindy going for his own commercial break here.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons exactly why that rule was changed a couple seasons ago, actually. But yeah, basically, if that's something that happened, then it will stand and nothing will happen. But yeah, if he did pass somebody on the yellow and then didn't give it back for some reason or whatever, then of course the black flag clearance will be overturned again, and then he will be in some trouble with me later on. But yeah, if he can keep this going, and it was a clear thing to do. I mean, from the way I saw it, it was pretty easy to just nap to review it properly.
Let's just
but yeah, if he keeps going, easy podium.
Yeah, if just update everybody, and we got Edson kind of encountering lap traffic now, and how hard does he want to really race that lap traffic? And Leighton Furnace going to stay very high in turns 1 and 2, keeps it out of the way for everyone. Leighton, Layson can get to here at another 20 laps. He can get up to Salvazzi and get past lap for 9th spot. So I went into the Wayback Machine again on Sim Racer Hub, and I found that race from here.
That race from here, yes. Season 2, you mean?
Yes, and I will.
By the way, I'll gladly stick around and keep the broadcast fun to have something to talk about. Did you already bring up the Penske fire from 2017 here in real life, Gary? Did you already talk about that?
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right. Well, if there's a little bit of quiet in there, you might as well.
I'm gonna name this this graphic for the overlay that Gateway race.
All right, Gary, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problems. You did. I can't say you really missed much.
Well, I was actually a little concerned that Layson Furnace being lapped or being in the way would maybe cause trouble for Edson, but looks like he got around him no problem. But Bill Cawley is now.
Yeah, Cawley's through. Cawley going high. Oh, Cawley in the wall.
I think he'll be okay. He might have a slight right side damage, but you know, with a 50 lap lead or whatever over Layson, second place is all but assured.
So here it is. I got it on the screen. So I beat Alex Van de Sant. That was one of John Christensen's first races right there. We had OGG there in that race. Shane Coogan, AJ Musselman. So we had some decent drivers in that lineup. And I somehow led 93 laps and won by a one-lap lead over Alex Van de Sant. And Alex was driving a car that was ill handling. Under any other circumstance, that's a clear loss for me. That's a clear L over against Alex Van de Sant.
Look at a guy in P11 also. Wonder what he is doing.
I know we've got that graphic on the screen, but Cody Meadows is back on this track, and he's right in front of Edson Santos.
We're getting right there.
And Gary, also the guy in P7, wasn't he triggered by you once?
The silent assassin, Dave Stedman, yes. Of course, our old teammate Oscar Fredrickson there in 9th. He was my spotter for the remainder of that race. And the P10, that was the one that drove in over their head, and I let him go for 3 laps and then immediately piled into everyone. I think took you out. So here's Cody Meadows there, Edson Santos.
Ah, there he is in the chat. Dave Stedman.
Hi, Dave.
There's Dave, the silent assassin. Hey, Dave. We're reliving the VOR Season 2 race that we had here, if you might remember that, because we are in a very similar situation here. 18 cars took the green flag. We are down to 4. I think 4 just running right now. Your leader is Edson Santos, Bill Cawley, Cody Meadows. What else we got here? We got Fordo DeChico. He's back at it. He's trying to, at least. Not going straight. He's going to go back in tow. Layson Furnace. There's Layson. He is still running
Cody
as well.
Meadows is off.
Oh, and again, same thing. Yep, loose off corner exit.
I'm
No
really not
caution.
sure what the problem is with the setup, to be honest, because it other than the start on cold tires, it isn't oversteering at all. Like, it's actually very easy to just drive it around the track and actually race it. It's really when you're overdriving it in general with any car with any setup that it becomes an issue. So that must be what's going on. I do have to say also the setup is very light on downforce to avoid the back racing that we saw earlier in season 2. That's what the point of the setup was anyway. So it might be that people are not used to such low downforce levels with these cars. Because the DW12 with the big wings do generate a lot of downforce, which is the reason why I trimmed the wings down. But yeah, that might be why.
Something to watch here. Collie is making
a scheduled stop. Yep.
And so we'll see how he handles these cold tires. Hopefully he's very gentle.
And this is just outside the pit window too. It's 44 laps to the finish.
Oh, there it is right there. He started taking off and it was already slippery on pit road. Here he comes, though. I think Cody is going to be able to get repaired, possibly. He's got a new nose on. We'll see. That was a big hit. Here comes Doshenko. He's going to try to run again.
He's got to protect that position from Lace and Furnace. He's got a 11 lap buffer or so.
Fyodor had too much damage, so he took in.
So Dave said, never understood the silent assassin. Well, we know that Dave is a person of not many words, and he tends to be a fast driver. And I always thought that someone that doesn't speak very much but tends to back it up by being very fast, I don't know, kind of comes off as a ninja-esque to me. So I always call him the silent assassin. But I think it's a cool nickname, honestly, to be honest. I think to be called the silent assassin. I mean, the silent assassin Julian Altena does not have the same ring to it.
I mean, what nickname do you have for me, kid? That's what I want to know now.
Well, before you were that bratty kid.
I thought I was the Dutch Pro for a long time until I shaved it off.
That was a long time ago, man. That was those early seasons, man, of the VOR League, where we had the old tire model and on those IR18s, a lot of pack races.
A lot of crashes for me on cold tires on the old tire model too. TI Spa comes to mind. TI Roval comes to mind.
Well, we're on 90 of 140. We're getting there, boys. Santos is your leader. Kali is P2. Fordor, I think what Fordor is trying to do is he's just going to the end of pit road, towing, which brings him back around, and I think he's getting a credit for every lap he does that, so maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Well, that's against sporting code, so I hope he's not.
I don't know if that's exactly what he's trying to do, but he keeps getting repaired and then towing back and then going, then proceeding past the cones and then stopping and towing back again. So I'm not sure what's going on. Lace and Furnace, there he is coming off of corner 4 down the main straight. He is now 10th.
He's going to pick up a bunch of spots here in the next handful of laps.
Yes, he sure is. If he keeps it off the wall, in the wall, but he bounces off it very slightly. Boy, this is just Jinx territory.
I'm just going to start saying every driver's name every lap. That way we have some action on camera. Oh, boy.
And then we got Craig in there saying, setup is fine. Once a few laps in, just need to control entry speed. You're good. It's just cold temps on cold tires for pit exit and restarts that is dangerous. Yeah, and there you see the up in the corner, just under the broadcast bugs in the top right corner, we have the track temperature, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, no!
This is around!
Kisses the wall. Caution. Careful, careful. Just bring it to the pit road, buddy. Bring it to the pit road, buddy. No, he's going to stay out. Right. Yeah, don't do it right in front of the leader.
Ooh.
Sorry, I lost it at that point. Let's go back a little bit further there. And coming off of
Maybe
corner.
this is why iRacing took the license from us, Gary.
It's the same conditions for everyone, though, so it's not like at Edson. I think realizes, and I think to a lesser extent Bill realizes that they're in for a long race, and it's no longer. And let's watch Layson and see what happens. Gets down to the rumble strips. Yeah, that doesn't. In a race like this, the rumble strips are just going to do exactly that. If he had a race where didn't have a lot of downforce and had maybe a car in front of him needed to help rotate, we've seen that happen before, at least with the R18s. You could get down there.
Oh, and it did help him rotate.
It did. Yeah, it really did. Yeah. So he'll hopefully get back on pit road and just hopefully it's just a new nose. I'm not sure how much damage he does have there. Santos is going to stay out. Colley's going to stay out. They are on the same lap together here.
Yeah, and I also want to correct myself from what I said earlier about the fuel window, 44 laps to the end. That was considering the old lap count before I messed up the session, so that was 64 laps to go at the time. So pit window is open right about 3 laps from now to make it, so just outside of it. I'll go and check actually.
Layson did make up those spots. He's now up to 7th. And in another 4 laps, he will pass if he can stay on the track. Come on, Layson. Make us look good there for a second here, buddy. He will move past Ford Ordoshenko in another 4 laps, and then another 4 laps, another 9 laps after that, he will pass Bonnie. So Layson might get into definitely a top 5 situation here.
I think if he can complete the remainder of the laps without crashing or going many laps down, he'll actually podium and finish ahead of Cody Meadows.
I think that's your story there. There we see Layson, his iRating numbers. His a 406 iRating, so he's just a beginner, at least on the service. Maybe he has a different account. I don't know. And a 234 safety rating, and only the D license, so he's still learning. I would say this is probably a good race under these situations and these conditions to learn a lot about a car that you can make no changes to whatsoever other than the way you approach the corner.
And I would love to give a shout while we're under yellow here to Dan Inch. Every time there's a yellow, he comes on out diligently, runs every lap under caution. He may pass Hugo Galez if we get another full course yellow. But, you know, soldiering away and not putting anyone in harm's way. So that's the way to do it if you've got a broken car.
Yeah, the camber of that left front, right on your television screen, but left to his driver's left. Not pointing in the right direction.
Well, it is pointing the right direction.
Now it's pointing the right direction as he works his way. The steering wheel is held in upright condition. If I could talk, but yeah, there he is. So he has now his wheel. Look at that wheel now. Keep it straight. But to go through the corner, the wheel was straight up and down. And those are a pair of well-scuffed Firestones.
Bill Colley just got burned with the same passing under yellow due to the shortened access road. I thought he was topping off to maybe stretch it to the distance without pitting again.
You gonna stop and go?
Likely.
We're getting ready to go back to green here for lap 99. I guess it gives us a good opportunity here to talk about our upcoming calendar. As we let's get everybody under growing racing again here.
Dan Inch is staying on the track.
And he's going to stay to the. That didn't really help the guys behind him too much, but Edson gets a big lead here. Edson tippy toes through one. Here comes Collie, makes it through. Layson is now 1 lap away from working his way up into the 6th spot. So let's talk about our upcoming schedule here while we got plenty of time now. And we'll probably get into a couple sponsor reads as well. But tomorrow, Julian, we are back here again at Gateway for a doubleheader in the VOR the VOR IR18 series. You can see that on FTN. Just check them out on YouTube on their channel, FTN, Foxtrot Tango November. And I will be on the color commentary on that race there, do 2 races. And then we'll be back here again for Gateway afternoon on Sunday afternoon for the IR05s. Hopefully have a better showing there for the IR05s. And then later that night at 8 p.m., we might actually see Edson Santos again, as well as probably Collie, maybe even Forsyth. We'll see, but when the maybe even Tucker as well, Kinder as well, with the Dark Horse DW12, their DW12 series at Michigan. And then Monday is Championship Monday and the ISRA Truck Series at Fontana. We'll wrap up that series, we'll crown a champion there. And then once more, our signature series, the IndyCar Oval Series, top split broadcast on Tuesday. We're back here at Gateway again. And Clindy,
you don't like Gateway?
Oh well, it just so happens that we have a bunch of gateways that just happen to fall on the schedule all at the same time. Of course, the reason why you do it, of course, in VOR is to kind of keep all the series together at the same track. If people want to go from the IR18 to the DW12 to the IR05, they're all racing at the same track if they want to. But yeah, it just so happened Gateway came up on the Indy Fix schedule. So we'll be here, and Clindy will be in that race. Clindy, your thoughts? Have you got a chance to practice here yet?
No, not yet. I haven't even done my Nashville race this week because I was busy moving. So should I get that taken care of this weekend, hopefully I can find a high SOF to hopefully win, and then I can practice.
Hopefully win. I love it.
Kyle, wasn't there some sort of bet that you made in the DW12 Indianapolis broadcast with Gary for the Indy Fix season this time around, or what was it again?
Yeah, so I'm trying to podium the final standings for Indy Fixed Oval, and if I do not podium, I will send $5 of iRacing credit to every single person who finished ahead of me in the standings. Currently, I think I'm 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th or something, so right now I'm looking like $50 out of pocket, but I finished 4th or 5th last season and 3rd the season before that, so just trying to keep myself accountable.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody of that so that they will all know. I'm just being very generous to them to keep them up to date on that.
So. I'm the generous one, Julian, so.
I know, I'm just getting it out there, that, it's a reminder that you're doing it. You're more generous than I am, for sure, for doing that.
Checking.
Only 6 laps and it's a top 5 for Layson.
Yeah. Just checking chat here. Forsyth also says, yeah, don't touch the apron. That, yeah, that's... we got to make that t-shirt. It just simply says apron bad. Dave Steffen says, just never had the mic set up right to talk a lot. Well, that might be a good thing. I know a lot of guys that get really chippy on the mic, and you're just like, mute, shut up. Oh, late into the wall.
Keeps on trucking.
And I think Dan is on. We're watching Dan. He is now to 12th, but he probably should park it now. A lot of green flag laps spinning. I think that's against the sporting code.
2 more laps, he passes Craig Forsyth. Come on, Gary, give him 2 more laps.
Oh, I know, but I remember I got in trouble in a race for trying to do something similar to him, so you probably shouldn't be doing it under green flag conditions, but he is up in 12th now. And all things considered, at least gives us something to point the camera at. Edson Santos, your leader by 9 seconds over Bill Cawley. Cawley just trying to bring her home.
On the start. On the restart, rather.
30 laps to go, 110 of 140. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on this Friday afternoon here in the VOR IndyCar DW12 ICONIC Series. And
this race sure has been iconic.
Oh boy, it's going to go down as one of the all-time greats here. Collie is way out of the throttle in 1 and 2. He's like, screw this, I'm just getting through the corner, that's all.
I have a new fear of this track, Gary, and it has nothing to do with this race. I was watching Dan on pit road, and he almost clipped the
stairs.
Ladder.
The stairs, yes.
Yeah. I've got to watch out for that next week.
To ease your mind on this, stairs are actually not fixable, if the word.
Yeah, I think you can. They're.
Oh, there's no collision?
Transparent. Yeah, you can go through them, I think. Yeah.
Pretty sure you can. At least I have never hit them.
And hey, Dan Inch gets that one spot over Craig. Move Dan Inch up to 11th.
And the crowd goes mild.
He might be able to get one more position if he can somehow find another 23 laps, so I think he's going to run out of time. He might just.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. He's running a lap, 1 lap every 3 laps Edson runs, and Edson's only got 26 to go.
Yeah, Dan Inch last lap was a 1:18.1.
That's miles per hour, right, Gary?
right. Yeah, if that was miles per hour, that's actually pretty fast for his condition. It's a 1:18.
Shh, don't say that.
Here comes Edson Santos.
So something to keep in mind here is that Bill did pit under the last caution and Edson did not. Bill may be able to make the race without stopping again if he's saving or conserving a little bit of fuel. I don't think Edson's been doing that. If Edson has to stop for gas, an 11-second lead is not big enough. A 12-second lead is not big enough. You're going to need 19, 22 seconds minimum.
Gosh, in a race now with 4 cars remaining, 3 cars remaining, where we're going to have some drama here?
I hope so. And Layson Furness is about to go a lap down to Edson Santos, another one, which means he may not podium. He may not catch Cody Meadows.
No, he's already out of it.
He gave Edson room on the outside, and Edson tried to go, and he kind of slammed the door on him. I don't know if he really knew what to do, where he wanted to be. I would have ducked to the inside of the racetrack there and just let Edson go on by. I think he was racing Edson a little bit hard in that situation, more hard than he needed to. But again, it's a learning situation for him.
I think he didn't expect Edson to have so much speed. I think Layson's picked up a little extra damage, and I think he got caught by the Delta, and he just panicked. Because he apologized immediately over the radio.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, this is a learning. I think this is a little bit of a learning race for Layson. That's to be expected.
Well, it's a good learning experience, like you mentioned a couple times already, because there's been a pretty big contrast to last week in this race. The first race last week was really good, really clean, really competitive, and then this race was, well, I'm not going to say the full word because I don't know how bad you how strict you are on bad words.
I don't have the I don't have the censor beep hooked up, so no, don't do that.
It's been a poop show.
Yeah. Been pretty rough. Let's take a look at while we're watching these cars kind of make these last 20 laps here, and we'll catch here the next. Definitely get the last 15 for sure. But take a look at the remainder of the schedule for the season. There you see it. We've gone Michigan. Now we've done the Gateway. Let's get Gateway out of here. 2 weeks. We go to Texas, and then hopefully this is going to be an interesting one here. These cars, hopefully a much bigger field at Daytona, and then Indianapolis, and then Auto Club. So still after today, 4 more rounds to go. A lot can happen that Daytona race. is the big wild card there. Although, who would have thought Gateway would have been the big wild card again?
Julian, would you be open to me being an in-race reporter at Daytona? I could do commentary while riding at the back of the pack.
Oh, I mean, I think if based on what we've seen here today, I think everybody's going to wreck anyway. So if you want to be in it, then absolutely go for it. I don't mind. Doesn't make a difference. No, but on a serious note, like I did the Lara Dash at Daytona I was going to say the other day, but it was like 1 or 2 weeks ago now. And I was racing at the front of the field, just minding my own business, just being patient for a 20-lap race or whatever it was, 15 laps. And then the guy on the inside who was leading the race just barely clipped the apron, and he completely wrecked out the entire top 6 cars that were still racing for the lead lap. So it was almost as bad as this race was, to be honest. I mean, it was good while it lasted.
Was that did they have you racing in the Lara Dash at the Legacy Daytona still, or did they have you racing at the new version of Daytona?
No, they finally updated it to the new tracks.
I remember.
Yeah, it was repaved this last time.
Yeah, I remember racing the Lara Dash at Daytona on the Legacy version, and how bumpy it was. You know, and if you had a very strong force feedback wheel, it's like ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Yeah, that was murder. I told Julian when I originally saw the schedule, I said, make it Legacy Daytona. Let's do the bumps again. But he said no.
No, I'd rather not.
Harry, do we want the good news or the bad news here with 15 to go?
So let's start off with the bad news, because it can't get much worse, can it?
Bill Coley is losing too much time to Edson Santos for his fuel strat to work.
No.
However, the good news is he is saving fuel. So if Edson spins on the cold tires getting out of the pits, I think he might have a chance.
Okay. So we're just now waiting. Santos is now 38 laps under this current stint. So we expect him in any time, I think, for his final stop. Bill Colley pitted at lap 98. We think he's good to go, or getting very close to good to go. And speaking of poop, well, here's the puppy. He's come to see me all of a sudden, so that's normally that he's already done something.
Did you find any treasures last night, Gary?
Oh, yeah. It was a bigger poop show last night than it is today, probably. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Gary, to fill up some of the racing left to go, do you mind if I quickly read something out that Bill wrote in another league's Discord? Because I think it's pretty important to mention, considering the situation he's in right now, running second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have 1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
as long as it's good. I don't want to, Bill's doing a good job. I want to give him praise.
Of course, it's all about that. So, Bill posted this message, and I'm going to read it out word for word. So, starting with, I think with my problems, I have proved I am not a threat on the track. Wrecking people with it, stupidity, yes, lol. But I was hoping this test would work, but now I have to wait for some more. Speaking of a medical test that he is. You jump through all the insurance hoops, and then they give you another one. I have something called neuropathy, and it hurts so bad sometimes that he can't sleep with medication. He also can't feel the bottom of his feet.
Yeah.
So he was noticing a few years ago that he was going a lot slower sometimes, and finally realized that his feet were sliding off the pedals. So he made this and attached a picture to support his feet. I push so hard on the pedals to make sure I'm on them. Sometimes my thighs or hamstrings hurt after the race, and I was supposed to have a spinal cord stimulator put in to test to see if it would nullify the pain on April 10th, but my insurance now wants another MRI scan, even after the one I had in July, and did all their other requirements, physical therapy, steroid shot, mental evaluation, so now I have to wait for them to improve my MRI again. Sorry for the long-winded message. So that's what he wrote, and then a picture, like I mentioned, of that to support his feet. So Bill is driving with a very serious medical condition, and if he can finish this up and finish P2, even though everybody else behind him wrecked, which is a fact, I think this P2, which is pretty much guaranteed by now with only 8 laps to go, I think this podium is going to mean the world to him, and he deserves it because I know that Bill is not a bad driver by any means. I know he means really well, and he's really keen to learn also. But when I found out about the medical issue that he has, I really earned a lot more respect for Bill than what I already had, because he's always been a good member of the league in general, even without me knowing this and other people knowing this. So I really hope for Bill that he can pull even pull off a win. But even a P2
right now,
for him will
Julian,
be incredible.
We get to see if Bill gets to take the lead here from Edson, who's pitting now with just a few laps to go, 6 to go.
If Bill can hold on, I would consider this a real fairy tale, to be honest.
Well,
he's got the
going
slipstream
through
here from Layson.
He's going 3 and 4. Layson staying out wide, so he should pass on pit road.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Coley to the lead.
5 laps to go.
There goes Santos.
And we've known Bill for a long time. He's been involved in the community, and if anything, the man gets out there and just tries hard, gives it his best to the best of his ability.
I think he's going to bring it home, Gary. I'm buying a Bill Coley II t-shirt number 31.
Keep going, Bill. Santos has got foot to the floor. He's got to try to get this one, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Bill, clutch and coast there. Clutch and coast. Let's go. Let's all root for Bill. Let's all root for Bill. Going through 1 and 2. Gingerly, 4 laps to go. Couple more times around, man. Just bring her home. Hit your marks. We'll ride along with you.
Layson Furness has made it to P3. He is on the podium, 53 laps down.
3 to go. Santos 16 seconds behind and gaining. But he's not going to gain enough. Last time by, 167.8 for Colley, 174.9 for Santos. Colley coming to 2 to go.
Come on, Bill. Come on.
And this is the Godso strat. He did it. If he can bring it home, he did it. Santos 14 seconds, 13 seconds back. Looking at the white flag. 1 lap to go. With everything you just said, this is going to be a huge win, regardless of how many cars are left in this race. You want to root for people like this. These are good people. Santos 12 seconds behind. Clear off of 2 down the backstretch. Last time into 3 and 4. For someone who's much deserving of a win, we don't get to say it very often, but you deserve it. Bill Colley gets the win here on Friday at Gateway.
And a comedy run to the finish for a driver so deserving. He gets to go down the backstretch under a shower of sparks. And he has extra in the tank to maybe give us some donuts on the front stretch. Way to go, Bill. Way to bring it home.
There you see Bill Colley led 6 laps. That's all he needed to lead. Edson Santos pretty much dominated today, led 100 laps, but it came down to fuel mileage there at the end. Layson Furness survives. He did the classic drive that survived and worked his way to 3rd. Cody Meadows 4th, Weber 5th, Boney 6th, Toshinko 7th, Christensen 8th, Julian, you're 9th, Patrick 10th.
Yay, top 10.
Inch 11th, Craig in 12th, Gallus 13th, Bogdan 14th, Fortune 15th. I got this is a bug here. But the last thing we got Vanden Bosch, Tucker, and Kinder, and I think they're out of order, so I just got to report that as a bug. But that is our final standings here.